Hello, hi. Today we are going to revise Dpsp from prelims point of view. We'll quickly revise it, and I suppose that you have read it once properly from Lakshmikant or any book you are referring to. So Dpsp, it is in part 4 of Constitution, and we have borrowed this idea from Irish Constitution. And in this part 4, there is article from 36 to 51. 36 talks about definition of state and 37 talks about definition of laws, similar to what is there in fundamental rights article 12 and 13. Okay, similar. Now we will read from article 38 to 51. First, there is article 38. It is for like welfare of people by providing them justice, like social, economic and political justice. And there is one more provision, minimizing inequalities. This provision is added by 44th Constitutional Amendment Act. Remember this point, okay? 44th Constitutional Amendment Act. And now 39, it has six part, okay? So 39A, 39B, 39C, 39D, E, F. To remember this, there is you can use this trick, LDC primary healthcare, LDC primary healthcare, LDC PHC, L for livelihood, D for distribution, equitable distribution of wealth, and C is concentration. P for pay, it means equal wages for men and women. H is for health and strength, and C is healthy development of children. This, like 39F. 39F is added through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So for 39, LDC PHC, ABCDEF. Now 39A talks about free legal aid. It is also added by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So till now there is only one provision added by 44th Constitutional Amendment Act, that is minimizing inequalities, and 39F and 39A is added through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Now 40 talks about panchayat. 41, 4 minus 1, 3. So there are three provisions: right to education, right to assistance, and right to have security in old age. Now 42. So there are two things. First, just and human condition of work and maternity relief. 43 is about living wages. Then there are two articles related to 43. So one more, 43 is related to cottage industries. 43A is participation of workers in management of industries. It is also added by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Then 44 is UCC. 45 is early childhood care. And this article, see earlier it has provision of education, and by 86th Constitutional Amendment Act, the earlier provision was shifted to 21A, and this provision is added through 86th Constitutional Amendment Act. So remember it. 46 talks about SC/ST. 47 is about drugs and intoxicant, prohibition on intoxicant and drugs. 48 talks about animal. 48A is about protection of environment. It is also added by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Then 49 is for protecting monument and places and object of artistic or historic interest. 50-50 means separation, like you can remember it like 50-50 means separation of judiciary from the executive in the public services. Then 51, the last article, is about international peace and international peace promotion. Now I think we missed an article. I think one is like through cooperative societies. 43B is also there. It is about cooperative society, and it is added through 97th Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, so we will focus more on which article is added by Constitutional Amendment Act. So 44th, minimizing inequalities. 42nd, there is this 39F, 39A, 43A, then 48A. These are added by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. 45 through 86th Constitutional Amendment Act. Now there is another part which is conflict between Dpsp and FR. Fundamental rights are legally enforceable, and these are non-enforceable. So there is a continuous conflict between these two. So what are these conflicts? In 1951, Champak Rai Dorai Rajan case, Supreme Court held that FR can be amended. So by using this Supreme Court rule, there are many amendments done by Parliament, like 4th Amendment Act, 7th Amendment Act. So now in 1967, in Golaknath case, Supreme Court said that FR fundamental rights are sacrosanct and they cannot be amended. So in response of this ruling, Parliament has enacted 24th and 25th Constitutional Amendment Act, and through these amendment 25th they have added an article 31C. So there are two provisions in 31C article. First, if there is any law which implement 39B and 39C. So remember what is 39B and 39C. 39B is about distribution, equitable distribution, and C is prevention of concentration of wealth. Okay, so if there is any law which is for there to implement 39B and 39C, it will prevail over 14 and 19. If is there any law which will violate article 14 and 19, then it shall not be void. And the second is there should be no judicial review for that law. So in Keshanandi Bharti case 1973, Supreme Court said that the second provision is unconstitutional. First provision is okay, but second constitutional is unconstitutional. So now after this, in response of this Keshanandi Bharti case, in 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, what Parliament has done, that they have completely said that all DPSP prevails over fundamental right. So now they said that fundamental right is under DPSP. Any law can violate fundamental right. So now again in Minerva Mills case, Supreme Court said that this provision is unconstitutional. They struck down this provision of 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, and how finally the Supreme Court said that there should be a balance between DPSP and earlier provision of 39B and 39C, which is which can prevail article 14 and 19. It is there, but this provision of 42nd Constitutional Amendment has been struck down. Okay, so this is all about DPSP. You can revise it again. You can watch it at 1.5x. Thank you so much.